Airglue Media and the Cantina Cast are proud to present Mando Monday. Happy Mando Monday. I am your host, Mike Rondeau, and I hope you all enjoyed the first episode of The Mandalorian. I hope you all had a pleasant experience with your Disney Plus. I know there was a few glitches, so to speak, to start. I know, I guess they released it earlier than suspected. I know a few people in Discord, our Discord at the Cantina Cast, Airglue Media, got to see it early. I know Albert from the Cantina Cast got to see it before me, and I woke up at around 4:30 because I set my alarm early, because I usually get up early anyway, and I'm off, luckily, today. I don't know how that was planned, wink, wink. But, so I got up, I logged in, got all that stuff squared away, and it was pretty smooth overall. And, I watched the first episode twice, actually. The first time I got into it, I was just taking it all in, enjoying the moment and savoring every bit of it. And then I watched it again just to get some notes going. I, brewed a pot of coffee, started making my notes for this show to get into it. So a little bit of a spoiler warning for anyone that has not watched the first episode. I'm going to be talking spoilers. And unfortunately, I apologize to our UK listeners because I know we got a lot of them over there. Sorry you can't watch it till March, which is awful, really. I don't know why that is, but I feel pretty bad. So stop listening to this if you're in the UK or you have not watched the episode at all. But before I get into all that spoilers, I just wanted to let you know that this show, I'll explain this show. This show is just me kind of giving a quick take on every episode of The Mandalorian. So The Mandalorian releases on every Friday. Thankfully, it's not all at once. This gives me a chance to do my notes and record and do all that stuff. So Friday, they release it, and then Monday, this show will be released, and there you go. So that's hence the name Mando Monday. These episodes will be about 10, 15 minutes, with the exception of about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes with the season premiere here. So this one might go 20 minutes. The season finale probably go 30 minutes maybe, because there's going to be a lot of speculation in that episode, I'm sure. So, and when there's trailers dropped or some kind of big news, maybe I'll do an episode, like a bonus episode and whatnot. So now, yes, the wait is over. Well, I've been waiting since Star Wars Celebration. We're in Chicago. Albert, Jonesy, Imperial Moonwalker, all of us, our friend Twan, we all were in the little, I can't remember, the satellite location where you could watch the press conference of The Mandalorian, and they showed us about 5 to 7 minutes of the show, and I've been craving it ever since then. So, and a couple of weeks ago, I was on the Cantina Cast, and I was just telling Jonesy, we just need to get to it. So that's it. We got to it. And speaking of getting to it, I'm going to get to it right now. So one of my friends texted me earlier today. He says, I haven't seen The Mandalorian yet, but he's obviously interested. I think a lot of us are interested. So he wanted to know what the show timeline is. Now, I know most of us probably know what it is. It's about 5 years after the fall of the Empire and the rise of the First Order. So the First Order is not on the radar quite yet, I don't think, but I'm sure we'll get more of that as we go. And I thought that was interesting how they kind of just mentioned it, and you see the lawlessness and stuff. So, all right, well, let's get into the episode description, which is, the reason why I'm bringing this up here is because I want to see if the episode lived up to what they put in their little blurb here. So this is after the fall of the Empire, a lone gunfighter, makes his way through a lawless galaxy. And that is right on point. Because sometimes, like when I watch The Walking Dead, I don't know why I do, but I do. It's like a love of punishment, I guess. I like to punish myself. So anyway, sometimes they don't live up to that description. And this one lived up to it quite a bit. Obviously, this show is created by Jon Favreau. I think I said that right. I usually mess up everyone's name. And this is the key moment here. This is the directorial debut of a live-action film for our buddy, Dave Filoni. And I think Dave did a very good job for a debut. Now, there are flaws, but I think he shot it what it reminded me of when I was watching it was, I think, the first time when I was watching it. I knew Dave directed it, obviously. I'm saying, wow, a lot of these shots are very Clone Wars-esque brought to life, and you could tell. And, of course, I liked some of the shots that you felt very Star Wars like. It was very the callback shots, the speeder across the ice, the Mando walking down the steps to the armorer. I thought that was really good. That's very Return of the Jedi. Like little moments like that were awesome. So I think Dave did a very good job for his first run at directing like this. And of course, I think I know why he did, because of the big surprise at the end there. And of course, the little flashbacks too with the Clone Wars, the nods there. It was really, really good. So Dave, congratulations. I think you did well. I think you passed, and I look forward to what else you direct. Hopefully a movie someday. So let's get into our segment here: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, for the most part, it's good. I will say there are moments where you're like, okay, this episode in total, I'll just say this episode as a whole was pretty good. I think there's moments where you're like, all right, it's kind of struggling a bit, but overall it was good. It was a good intro to this world and to this character and the characters that have come. So I thought it was overall a good episode. So let's go with the good. Obviously, I like the look. I like the music. Now, we had people saying the music kind of took them out of it in Discord, and I completely disagree. I thought it fit the tone of the Western gunfighter type thing. I thought they did it really, really well. I don't know. It was good for me. I don't know why, but people thought that opposite of me. What I was really surprised with was how dark they went for a Disney Plus type of thing. I didn't think they would go here. And of course, we had the big speculation about the guy with the door. Will he get sliced in half? And he did get sliced in half. And you don't really see it. Of course, you see his legs drop and stuff, and you hear it, which I thought was great. Then you had the Cantina fight, which I thought was pretty brutal for what it was. And of course, the betrayal of a fellow bounty hunter, which I really love, because this harkens back to Cassian Andor shooting the other rebel spy there. I thought that was great. He did what he had to do there. Pretty cool. And the making of the Pauldron there, basically the fancy armor, the shoulder pad, if you will. I thought that was great. That whole scene I liked. There was a lot of interesting little nuggets in there that I'll get to in a little bit. And the other thing that surprised me, I know this is going to sound crazy, but we've broken down walking sticks on the Cantina Cast, and we've talked about many crazy things over the years. The end credits with the concept art was awesome. I mean, that really just, I felt the love and care that Dave and John put into this, and it was awesome. And I love this. I thought it was great. The other thing that I found that was pretty dark was the mention of cutting out the fish face guys, the glands, and selling them in the port. I didn't think they would go there either, but they did. I'm happy that they did, because I was concerned going in that they weren't going to tell that gritty of a story for Disney and Disney Plus. I guess that's like a stain that's kind of on Disney, that they're going to Disney fight, although Bob mentioned in his book that they were very worried about that. So I don't think they're going that way. I'm happy they're not going that way, because this is a type of show that needs to be gritty at times, and kind of very Clone Wars like grit, I guess. The Clone Wars had some pretty dark moments as well. So that's the good. And of course, as I said, overall the episode was good. So let's get to the bad. And it's not much. I mean, I'm kind of nitpicking here a little bit. The bad was the CGI at times did not seem so great to me. But this is a TV show, and it's 99% better than most of the TV shows out there that use CGI. And I'm looking at you, The Walking Dead. So I thought it was pretty well. It holds. It doesn't take you out all the time. I think there were a few moments with the blurg. I think that's what they call the creature. I can't remember off the top of my head. And with the little piglet there. What's his name? Nick Nolte's character, Krill. I can't remember how you pronounce that. I always butcher that. I think Jonesy and I went back and forth a couple of weeks ago and couldn't figure out how you pronounce that name. I don't know. It seemed, I don't know, too fake at me at times. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just nitpicking at things now because I need something to nitpick about. I don't know. But overall, I thought CGI was serviceable. How's that? The other thing is Bert from the Big Bang Theory getting eaten. It seemed like a weird and waste of a time. Like he was warning them to be safe and get off the ice, and he seemed to know how to navigate, and he was well aware of his surroundings and to be sure to be careful of danger and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden he gets eaten. And I thought, well, that would be good if he came back as a character. If we visited him again in some form or manner, I thought his character would have been good because he was kind of funny. But I know that was to show danger, that there was danger on the ice and all that stuff. But I just kind of found it as, I don't know. again, I'm nitpicking, I know. And lastly, the thing that concerns me the most is the gunslinger here turning to a good guy. The Mandalorian ended up joining a ragtag group to save others and stuff. That was my big concern. I don't know if they're going to go there because I guess at the end you kind of get that hint that he's going to turn good, but I'll get more into that later as we go into some stuff here. But yeah, I don't know. He did shoot his counterpart there, IG-11, which that surprised me. I didn't think that was going to happen, and I loved that. I thought that was great. I'm like, oh. And obviously we know why he didn't want to kill well, we'll get there in a minute. But anyway, the other thing that was kind of confusing to me was the tracking fob, because I'm thinking about, all right, if you're looking for Luke Skywalker, how do these tracking fobs work? I hope we get some information on it, and I assume we will. But it's like you could just track anyone, I guess, out of nowhere and whatnot. So in any case, the other thing is, who gave IG-11 the bounty as well? I have to assume when Griff was mentioning it to the Mandalorian that people were overhearing, because you kind of get that vibe there, so you got to kind of put two and two together there. And you know, I don't know if that's a good move all the time to let the audience kind of figure that kind of out, but I thought it was interesting. So let's get to the ugly. The problem I had, and it was not really a problem, I mean, is the modern language creeping into the show, like Millennium and VacTube. They fit in the Star Wars world, but for some reason it just seemed out of place to me. I don't know why. I kind of just was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that was the way he delivered the Millennium in a millennia or whatever he says there. I think that kind of took me out of it. But overall, I thought the dialogue between the two, well, not that there was a lot of dialogue. The Mandalorian wasn't saying anything, which I loved. I thought that was a great move. But Fishface was kind of just talking and nonsensical stuff and kind of just trying to buy his way to find a way out. And, you know, I thought it was a good give and take, so to speak. All right, so the next segment we have is Mandalorian lore. Now, obviously, one of the big things is us discovering things with the Mandalorian. There's going to be new things, old things, homages, and all these callbacks and stuff. So one of the things I wanted to do is bring into this show, because I'm not an expert in the Mandalorians or Star Wars. I know quite a bit about both. So we're going to just figure this all out together. So staying away from the obvious, his look, his rifle and stuff, we got a few interesting things. Now, one of the big ones was, for me, the mythosaur, which is a big deal with when you go back to Boba Fett and everything, and the lore that came out of that. And, of course, Beskar, the armor that he had. Again, we saw that in Chicago and stuff, so that was interesting. And the interesting thing with that is I was right, Jonesy, and I know he's rolling his eyes right now if he's listening to this, that we're going from the ragtag thing to shiny armor, but I got more on that in a little bit when we get down the line here with the segments. So Mando being uttered in canon now is pretty cool, especially because the show is named Mando Monday, and I might have to slice that sound effect into the episode, the intro or something. I don't know. But in any case, I thought that was great that they said Mando, and just those little things like that just made this world so much better for us Star Wars fans, I think. And the interesting one, now these last two, or three, I should say, are the most interesting ones to me. The horns with the blacksmith on the helmet reminded me of Darth Maul, and I wonder if there's a thread there back to Mandalore when Maul was running the show there. I have to say yes, it's somehow, some way, and I don't know how the Mandalorian and this blacksmith or armorer fit into that whole thing. It'll be pretty interesting. I'm not even sure if they're in the same clan or whatnot. It seems like they are. But then again, above the armorer's door, I don't know if it was a bantha or a mythosaur, or I know it's the symbol. It looked like the symbol that Boba Fett has, the mythosaur, or I forget the name of the symbol off the top of my head. So you Mando fans, I apologize, but you know what I'm talking about. So, but it looked like the actual animal. It wasn't like the skull like we normally see. So I'm not sure. I know there's some conflict going on between, when you go to Wikipedia and you go to Star Wars, there's kind of like, okay, it could be this, it could be that. There's really no definitive thing quite yet. At least I don't know. Maybe one of you can clue me in and say, no, you idiot, this is what it really is. So the other thing I found was the Siege of Mandalore, the Great Purge. This is what the armorer says. So I'm assuming that we're going to get some of this. I think we obviously saw it with when he was a young boy at this point, when they're making the armor for the shoulder there. And, she mentions the Great Purge, the tribe. It's good to bring this back in the tribe. Again, that's a very Mando thing, having the tribe, the clans, and the signet, your symbol and everything. So that was pretty interesting. And then this one caught me after, I think, my third or fourth viewing of the show. Yes, I've watched quite a bit of it today. Was the foundling, which is an infant that was abandoned by its parents and discovered by others, that are cared for. It's an old Mando tradition back in the EU days, the old EU days, where they adopt people or children and bring them into their clan and show them the ways of the Mandalorian. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think we'll get more with that. And of course, this plays big in the final reveal at the end of the show, I think. So speaking of that, let's get into the character intel on the Mandalorian. Now, he seems to start out as the silent, strong type, that sounds like a personal ad, which is weird. But anyway, less is more, and I like that. He's calm and under danger. He's always about the job, but seems to respect his bounty. Like when he caught Fish Face, he seemed respectful. He's like, yeah, whatever. Let's kind of, I wouldn't say respectful, but just kind of tolerated him and treated him fair, I guess you could say. We also learn his fear of droids, which is warranted because he was in the Siege of Mandalore, right? So obviously he doesn't seem to like droids all that much. But then again, when he runs into IG-11, he kind of softens on that. Why? Is it because he's in the guild? So and he knows he needs them for something, and he just he's like, all right, I don't like it, but I'll kind of go with it, and we'll just be that. So that's curious how that's going to evolve over time, or maybe it was just kind of I don't know. We'll find out. I like seeing that he's not perfect as well, and he's flawed. His skills seem pretty good. When he was in the bar, he held his own, obviously, and did his thing, although one got a shot off on him. So, you can kind of see. And, of course, riding the blurg and being attacked by one, it shows that he has a bad day, and I think that's pretty cool. And also when he was dealing the Ravanax, I guess he was kind of overconfident, thought he could get away and it wouldn't be a big deal, but then he's like, all right, I'll go deal with this. And he went out and he shot the Ravanac, and he was like, all right, he was fine, and he was cool under pressure. So again, and it seems like he adapts to situations. When he was sitting there overlooking, he was formulating a plan until IG-11 shows up, and all those things change. But he could have let IG-88 just go in there and do a lot of damage, and maybe IG-88 would be dead. Half of the people would have been dead there, and then he maybe could have done something better. But I think he was like, all right, I'll just go with it and see where it goes, and I could probably use the help anyway. And of course, IG-11 is part of the guild, so I guess that's why he felt obligated to do that. I don't know. Very deep questions, people. So let me know what you guys think. So what did we learn with his character? Is he going from a no-nonsense bounty hunter to a conflicted man? That's kind of, I don't mind that, but I'm a little concerned about that he's, again, as he's going to be this guy that teams up with all these people and then they do good in the galaxy. Now, this is a trope or a play that's been used many times by Dave. It was in the original trilogy, even the prequel trilogy, and you could say even now, like this is, the go-to to the well. But with The Mandalorian, I feel like this is an opportunity to just be blurring the lines all the time. And I think maybe we'll get that. So, but we also see some symbolism in his tattered armor to a more shiny armor. This is what I was talking about with Jonesy. We had this little debate a few weeks ago. I guess this is as the season progresses, his armor is going to get more shiny. So he basically becomes the knight in shining armor, which is an interesting take. And I like the symbolism, but I'm not sure if I want that. Not at least in the first season. Maybe 3 or 4 seasons down the line, maybe that'll be good. But I don't know. I'm curious where they're going to go with this. So, and I guess you could say he's going from that holiday special look to a newer look as we go with the season, which is kind of a good thing. I know I'm contradicting myself what I just said there, but he's becoming his own Star Wars character now. And I think that's an important thing for me, especially when I've watched it a few times. Like I'm on my 100th viewing there, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that. I like that he's becoming his own thing. You forget about Boba Fett and Jango, and you're just embracing all this, and you're like, I need to see where this character goes and what'll develop. So in any case, let's get into the speculation. So this is the speculation segment. Going forward, as I said, the conflicted man trying to make a living in being a bounty hunter and doing the right thing. I guess that's going to be his conflict. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. And then there is another Yoda, which that threw me for a loop because I was expecting maybe an Ahsoka Tano nod with the flashbacks there, but nope. Apparently we have little baby Yoda Or is this baby Yaddle? Or is this Yaddle and Yoda getting together and having a love child? Is this Yoda's child? Is it Yaddle's child? Who knows? It seems weird. I wasn't expecting this, and I don't know what to make of this. And of course, it's a 50-year-old baby, which is crazy. Is he still pooping his diapers at that point? I don't know. That was an awful joke, so I apologize. But if this is Yoda and it's his child, does this make him a hypocrite with more of a hypocrite after all the things that happened in the prequel trilogy, after all the things he said to Anakin and Luke? But I guess if it is, you could say Yoda was able to let go of his attachment to his child here. So that's something that Anakin didn't make. But I just didn't expect this at all. Was Yoda and Yaddle allowed to have an offspring due to their species being rare? Much like Cootie I think I said that completely wrong, but I always get that wrong. Because in the old EU, he was allowed to have a family because his species was dying out. So this is all interesting. I have no idea what the hell is going on with this. So if you have any theories, please let me know. I know Albert and Jonesy will probably be taking a deeper dive into this part of the whole Mandalorian aspect here with Yoda, baby Yoda, and the bastard child. I don't know what to do here. But anyway, I expect that the Mando does not turn Yoda over, Yoda Jr., and we'll find out on the next episode. The foundling thing is something that's going to come back, and I think this is why he's not going to turn in the bastard child of Yoda and Yaddle. And I do believe he's going to pay for it because he doesn't do that. So interesting things going abound here. So I'm curious what'll happen on the next episode. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. And with that, we are going to wrap up the first Mando Monday. So like I said, catch the Mando Monday show every Monday after the Mandalorian is posted on Friday. So Mondays, you'll hear this Monday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern time. I'm going to release these. And you can also join the conversation in our Discord. And we have a channel set up in the Discord for you guys to join me and debate me and everybody else and stuff like that. So, and be sure to catch Albert and Jonesy's reaction on the Cantina Cast as well. I'm sure they're going to have a deeper dive than I will. I'm looking forward to seeing what their reaction is compared to mine. So that'll be an interesting take. So with that, I am Mike and I have spoken. This podcast is not endorsed or affiliated with Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Disney, or Disney Plus, and is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. All names, sound, music, and any other copyrighted material are held by their respective trademarks and copyright holders in the U.S. and abroad. I have spoken.